Hi guys, my name is Marie, and if you're new to my channel, I'm a personal trainer and I post new videos every week. So update on my elbow, it's a lot better, right? It's not so bruised, it still hurts, so it's gonna be a few more weeks until I can lift weights. So we're gonna have to pause the workout videos. I know, I'm sorry, I'm sure you want some workouts, but I have tons of videos on my channel, so you can check the workout playlist or the stretch playlist. I'm sure you guys also miss our puppy Boba. She did get spayed yesterday, so she's also kind of on the mend right now. But anyway, we will both be back soon with workout videos and her little cameo. For today's video, I wanted to talk about how I became a trainer and why. I feel like with all the workout videos and stuff, they're fun, but in this video, you guys get to know more about me. So when I was a kid, I actually hated sports and PE. I wasn't very athletic at all. Actually, I wasn't physically talented. Like, my coordination wasn't so great, nothing like that. And I think growing up, we were taught more to focus on school and other hobbies like piano or whatever, but not so much like sports. So wasn't athletically talented, and I didn't really do sports in school. Also in PE, kids get a little competitive, so that did not help. And also getting picked last or almost last in PE didn't help either. So I was not very fond of physical activity, sports, anything like that. Plus, when they're making you run around and play games, I actually didn't like getting sweaty and hot or just uncomfortable. So I always tell people it's ironic that I'm a trainer because I just, I wasn't a fan of working out or sports or anything like that. So it wasn't until high school, obviously being very studious, I wanted to get into a good college, and the more activities like sports, clubs, things like that you are in, the better it looks on your transcripts for school. So one of my friends had convinced me to do swimming, and I had taken swim lessons as a kid every summer. So I was pretty good at it. Not awesome, but I knew how to swim. I knew all the strokes. And she said, just try it. Just try swimming and see how it goes. Surprisingly, I actually fell in love with being on the swim team. And as much as practice was so hard and brutal, because living in the Bay Area, it's cold. And the swim season started in January, February, and it was an outdoor pool. So I get it, you're already gonna be wet if it's raining outside, whatever, but it's cold. So when you get into the pool, you have to wear your swimsuit, it's cold outside, hop in, and then you don't wanna come out because it's cold. So I did swim team for 2 seasons, and that was my first inspiration to get into fitness. I didn't know much besides, swim strokes and whatever our coach taught us inside our school's gym. And once I got into college, we had gym on campus and we didn't have to pay for it because it came out of our tuition. So I thought, great, I have no excuse to not go to the gym. However, I didn't know much because that was my first real experience working out with machines and without a coach. So my good friend Linda and I went to the same school. We also went to the same high school. And so we decided to work out together, and we would do cardio, we would do core, the machines. So that helped me ease into the gym. Obviously our schedules wouldn't always align. So there were times where I had to work out by myself, and I kind of was just like this cardio bunny and did core because that's all I knew. I only know how to do like planks, some ab stuff, cardio, and machines. But I really wanted to get more fit. I really liked the feeling of pushing myself and obviously the endorphins after the workout. So I wanted more. I was doing some fitness classes, and which was really nice because then at least we had instructions from, a teacher. But again, I wanted more. And then I know I've talked about this before, but I had stumbled upon Blogilates videos. So check out her channel because her ab workouts, actually just workouts in general, are insane. So I would do that at home because that was a little more comfortable for me. I would do her little calendar, whichever workouts were scheduled for that day, and then just, do that for months. I think I did that for maybe like a year and a half, 2 years. And again, I got pretty fit. I was like lean, toned, all that, but I wanted to get strong because I noticed my endurance was great with the workouts, but I really wanted to lift weights. Like I wanted to do like push-ups, pull-ups, deadlifts, back squats, bench press. And obviously you can't do that unless you're in a gym and have that equipment. So I was dabbling into that. And then when I enrolled in college, I was undeclared because I didn't know what to major in. I can be a little indecisive. I was also 18. I didn't really know. Like, do any of us know what we want to do when we're 18 years old? So I decided to be undeclared and at least, you know, try some classes, figure out what I was into. But I always knew I wanted to do something very rewarding and work with people, help people. And growing up, my parents always emphasized the importance of health and wellness. I have relatives that work in the medical field. So I think having that influenced me into going into kinesiology or just, you know, working with the human body. At one point, I did want to become a doctor, and it's probably from family influence, right? But I realized, okay, I don't really want to work with blood. I don't want to go to school for that long. Like, I enjoy school. I love learning. But I also wanted to work. I wanted to do more hands-on things. So I was undeclared for a little bit, and I was torn between psychology and kinesiology. So with psych, of course, you can help people. I could become a therapist. I can do talk therapy, things like that. And then with kinesiology, it has a whole bunch of things we could do, like physical therapy, personal training, group fitness, coaches, all that. And then what really convinced me was that as I'm working out and reaping all these benefits of exercising, loving how I feel and look, getting stronger, I realized that's what I want others to feel too. Like, I want people to feel this great and confident and strong, just like I did from working out. It also helped that my best friend Linda was already majoring in kinesiology and convinced me. So Linda, if you're watching this, shout out to you, because yes, you can take credit for really influencing me. But it just turns out that I was already into working out or getting into my fitness journey, and then realizing, okay, I already like biology and wellness, things like that. And so kinesiology was perfect. I didn't forget psych. I did minor in that, which has also been really helpful because the mind and body, you know, need to work together to come together to reach your goals. I started majoring in kinesiology, is meeting all these cool classmates of mine that were studying all sorts of things, whether it was like physical therapy, coaching, PE class. And I would start working out with them, and they helped me ease into the gym, like all the big lifts, because I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to deadlift. I didn't even know how to hip hinge, actually. That took me forever to learn, by the way. Back squats I was terrified of doing because, you know, you have this bar on your back and you have to squat. So working out with friends taught me how to lift properly and helped me become more comfortable in the gym. In my senior year of college, I also worked at a country club. So I was helping out with kids camp. So they were playing like tennis, they're going to the pool, doing all these activities. And then I also ended up teaching kids class on Sundays. So I would just have them run around, to be honest, like safely, because with kids, you got to have them play safe and you have to make working out fun. So they didn't realize that all this running around or ladder drills or catching or playing with the ball was actually me helping them exercise and then also build coordination and having fun along the way. I had also worked at Stanford for their recreation and fitness department. So that was really fun. I started working as fitness support staff. So I was doing a lot of fitness assessments because people just really wanted to take advantage of that. So it would be their body composition, grip strength, things like that. So that was really cool, dabbling into that. Once I graduated, I decided to take the personal training test, and there are tons of certifications. However, in college, our professor was setting us up to take the ACSM Certified Exercise Physiologist. And in order to take that test, you need a bachelor's degree in kinesiology or any exercise science related field. So it's a little harder than other personal training tests because it's so geared towards science and you need a degree in order to take it. So while working at the country club and Stanford, I was studying for my test, passed it. Woo! Thank goodness. I put way too much pressure on myself because those tests are not cheap, guys. It was like, I think over 200 at the time. I'm not sure what it is now, but I was like, I need to pass this the first time. I know, a little extreme. So I passed it, and then it took me a while to get into training just because I know how to train myself and I was okay with training friends, but I was a little apprehensive to actually train clients. So I learned from fellow trainers, I shadowed their sessions, and then, you know, the best way to really learn from something is through experience. So I started training at the country club I was at, and then also stand for a little bit. And then, this is a very defining moment for me, one of my good friends from college, James, if you're watching this, yes, I'm gonna give you credit for this. He had called me saying that a new Equinox was opening in Berkeley. And I thought, I don't know if I can work at Equinox. This is like really high end, to me, like really prestigious gym. And he was telling me, just try it. They're doing interviews. So went in, did the interviews. I was a little intimidated, of course, because it's Equinox, right? And so went through the interview process and I was hired, which was amazing. I was so ecstatic. I was a little sad because I couldn't sustain Equinox and also my other jobs. So I did have to leave the country club and Stanford job. But once I was a trainer at Equinox, I learned so much. I learned how to train clients, how to program, even more biology, anatomy, physiology, things like that, which I really liked. So not only did I learn quite a bit about the science part, but I also learned how the social part or the psychological part of training clients. So that was really helpful. And of course, I helped open the club, which was a huge and amazing experience because I was one of the first trainers there. However, it was my first corporate job, so it was a little crazy to start because you're getting an influx of people. And it's a little different, right? Because they want you to really be successful and hit as many sessions as you can. So it was definitely a learning curve, but I had learned and grown so much from that experience. And then after, I want to say a couple years at Berkeley, I've always wanted to move to LA, just, you know, start a new chapter in my life, see what else is out there. So I moved the end of 2019 and I transferred to another Equinox in LA. It was a big leap of faith for me to move to LA just because all my friends and family are back home. However, I don't regret it at all. I've learned and grown so much from moving down here, and also learning to rebuild my business again, which was absolutely terrifying. But I realized if I can build my business once, I can do it again. And then I worked here in LA, or I worked at the Equinox in Culver for a little bit, even through COVID. And then over time, I realized I wanted more. I didn't want to go into management, and I felt like that was the only thing that was left in terms of leveling up in my career as a trainer. So I decided, okay, definitely want to go into private training, build my business, try something new. And I ended up leaving a few years after working down here, and the rest is history. So that is how, this is a very long process of how I became a trainer. It was from my own fitness journey and wanting to help people become the strongest, fittest, most confident version of themselves. And also, I know how important working out is, not just for physical health, but mental health. I really wanted people to reap the same benefits I did from working out. And I think we also live in a society that wants very fast, quick results. For example, if you have high blood pressure, I think some people would just automatically take medicine instead of trying to change their lifestyle. And I'm all about lifestyle change, controlling what you can control, and exercise can definitely help you live a better and longer life. So thank you for listening to my story. I hope this resonates with you, or you guys get to know me a little bit more, how and why I became a trainer. So I can totally relate to people who do not like working out, don't like sports, don't really watch sports. Like, I don't really watch sports. My boyfriend's really into it, and obviously if it's on TV, then I'll watch, or if it's like a big event like Olympics or Super Bowl, I'll watch. But I usually don't. I usually work out to be healthy, obviously like look good, you know, and also push myself. I hope you guys liked this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, and subscribe. I promise I will be back with workout videos soon. I'll probably just have to do legs and abs for a little bit. Bobo will also make her appearance. She's in her little donut right now since she got spayed yesterday. Anyway, if you guys want workout videos, I have tons in my workout playlist. I also have stretch videos in my stretch playlist. If you would like to train or collab with me, you can email me. And I also have a weekly newsletter. You can sign up for that in the link below. And until next time, bye.